Hi everybody, welcome to the TechHub.training SQL Bike Shop Shipping Delays Challenge Solution video. Alright, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to assume that at this stage you've been able to install load the database, and so here is the solution. Let's connect to the server instance, and so this is the solution code. Ultimately, you've been asked to create some tables for the sales team because they noticed that there have been quite a few sales orders that haven't shipped, and so first they're asking for a table that shows the number of unshipped orders, the average time between the order and the current date, and for each store on all unshipped orders. And we're not going to use the current date. We're going to use the date listed in the challenge is December 29th of 2018. Just it relates to the data better. And so basically, to start off, we want store name, and then we want the number of orders, and then we want the average time between order, basically the average number of days since the order was made for the orders that haven't shipped yet. So on store name, it's pretty basic right there. Number of orders, we're going to count the order ID, because we know the order ID is non-null. So if there are any nulls in your data, this will still count them, and we'll label that as number of orders. And to get the average days since the order, we're gonna basically use the date diff formula. We throw day at the beginning, since we want days to be the metric in the date diff formula. We're going to take the first one is the order date. The second one is what would be the current date, but in this case we're using December 29th, 2018. And then we are going, so this will basically calculate the number of days since the order for each order, and then we're going to take the average of that, because we want to see the average days since the order for each store. So now let's go to the from statement. So initially, most of this data is going to come from the sales orders table. And so we throw from sales orders, throw SO in there as an alias, and then to get the store name, we have to join the stores table, because the sales orders table only contains the store ID. So we're going to join sales stores table on store ID, and then we only want to run this report for orders where they haven't been shipped. And so we're going to say that the ship date is null, because if the shipping date is null, that means it hasn't been shipped. And then we're going to group by store name. So we display these two metrics up here, grouped by store, and then we're going to just sort it by store name. And so that is the first one. Can run it real quick so you can see what it looks like. So it outputs with the store name, number of orders, average days since order. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now let's go on to the second query. So the second table we need is a table basically showing a little bit more detail about the orders that haven't shipped. So we need to show order ID, order date, store name, customer name, and the time between the order and the current date. well, we're going to use December 29th, 2018 for all unshipped orders. And then we're going to sort the table by oldest to newest. So first, we're going to take order ID, and that is in, and then order date. So we want the date that it was ordered on. Store name. And then we want the customer name. And then we want the number of days since the order, right? And so to get customer, we're going to take the first name and last name, add them together with a space in the middle. And this is actually the same formula as in the previous query, except we're not going to throw the average function in because we want to see this data on an order by order basis. And so now let's move into the from statement. So we're going to start with this sales orders table again, and from there we're going to get the order ID, order date, and the number of days since the order. And then we're going to join in the sales customers table on customer ID so we can get the customer's first name and last name to build the customer field. And then we're also going to join the sales stores table again on store ID so we can get the store name as well, just like in the last query. And also like in the last query, we're going to throw a where clause in there where ship date is null. So we're only pulling this data for all of the orders in the order ID, in the sales orders table that have not been shipped. And then we're going to order by order date. So we're going to see the oldest, the sales orders that have been outstanding the longest without being shipped. And you can see it's order number 70 is at the top. And then if we scroll down all the way to the bottom, order number 1615 is last at the bottom. And then basically you want to output this into an Excel file just because that's what the sales manager isn't going to connect to the database, so we're going to deliver this data to them in an Excel file. And you just come over here and you click on that. It's going to save it as Excel, and you just throw it. It's just going to save one of the tables, so you have to do them both. Save two different files, and then you'll just copy the table, one table over from the other. So you can have both tables in one Excel file. But ultimately, the difficult part is writing the queries, and delivering it in Excel is pretty easy to get that done. Well, I hope you enjoyed the challenge, and I look forward to seeing if you had a different way of writing the query than I did, and look forward to see the comments on TechHub.training. Thanks.